Alright, let's do this. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. My name is Louis Vuitton, and thank you for stopping by. Alright, let me see. There we go. Alright. What's up? So, Louis Vuitton, what's the deal? Well, my friends, I'm an Australian YouTuber and live streamer. I like to cover topics around generally talk about, say, workers' rights, minority rights, in particular trans and indigenous rights. I also like to talk about masculinity a lot. I like to talk about the good parts of masculinity and the not so good parts. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that you can expect to see on my stream. And today, we're focusing on the first aspect of that. We have some workers' rights to talk about. Some horrible corporate dystopias. Let me get the stream together on my phone because, like, we have like the ghetto stream here set up the ghetto stream set up here. All right, I'm managing the stream from my phone, not the computer, because I can't look at both at the same time. I only have one screen. Anyway, I'm starting a little bit later than I normally would today. Just because I was up late a little bit last night, so needed to get a little bit more of a sleep in today. So hey, a little bit later than normal. But normally, I'll get up quite early my time, stream in the morning, because hey, I might be Australian, but you got to get in on that American market. There's not really many big Australian streamers, especially political ones, so I mean, America is the center of the world. I've got to capitalize on that audience. I also stream in the evenings, which is more, or evening my time, which is more a Australian-centric stream. Yeah, an Australian stream for the Australians. And the topics that we cover on those evening streams are more oriented around stuff that relates to Australia. Not always, but generally. So, anyway. Let me just bring up the feed so I can see how good I look to you. Alrighty. Hang on. Alright, there we go. Oh my god. Stop. Oops. Oh my god. Okay, 2 seconds. Alright, sorry. Alright. There we go. What's up, everyone? How are you doing? Oh. Like I said, a little bit of a later stream today. Normally, I'm up at 6 a.m. just for you. So, hey, if you think that shows a pretty good work ethic, it would be nice if you would follow me on Twitch, head over to YouTube and subscribe to me there. Follow me on Twitter and also jump into the Discord server through the link down below. There is also a link to Streamlabs where, if you're feeling so inclined, you can donate to the stream if you like the content. There's the link in the Twitch chat. As you can see on the top left-hand corner of the screen, we have our daily dono goal to put some money together to buy me a pizza. Not asking a lot, but I am a fan of pizza, so help a guy out. So yeah. It's been funny, last night and this morning when I got up, well not got up, before I got up and was in bed, scrolling through my phone, scrolling through Twitter, it's been amazing seeing the amount of right-wing cope. Seeing all of the people coping over Stephen Crowder's abysmal tactical retreat from the debate with Sam Cedar. It's really, really sad. The right is coping worse. Well, no, okay, not worse. I was going to say worse than the election, but okay, it's going to take a lot to reach that level. Okay, but this is the most they have coped since the election. And all of them are projecting. All of them are trying to make it out like, oh, you're the one that's coping. It's like, guys, it's not my guy that ran away from the debate. It's not my guy who was a coward about it. But yeah, they're all mad. and the right is all rushing to defend how you shouldn't debate anybody on the left, which is hilarious, because for years we had to listen to the right posture as the debate bros and about how nobody on the left wanted to debate. And now, when the tables are turned, and it's the left that is hunting the right for debates, they're nowhere to be found. Funny. Steven Crowder especially postures really hard as this tough, masculine debate bro. But, when he's actually confronted with a debate, he runs away. Now you have people on the right who are genuine believers. You know, people like Actual Justice Warrior and JF and iHypocrite who won't back down from a debate. But the thing about that is that they're not grifters, they're true believers. People like Shapiro and Crowder, they know what they're doing. They end it for the money, so they're smart about their debates. But the thing about that is that when you do back down from a debate, like Crowder did with Cedar, it looks really bad. So yeah, I don't know how, for years, we let the right get away with calling us the snowflakes. For years. I mean, it's shameful, both to us and to them. Really. I've just realized I don't have my water bottle here, so give me 10 seconds. My mouth is getting dry already. As I said, it's early my time, so I've just technically I woke up 2 hours ago, but I was lazy and took a while to get out of bed. So normally the stream would start 2 hours ago. Anyway, fuck. Yeah, so I've been loving seeing all of the right-wing cope online, all the people trying to justify Steven Crowder's cowardly retreat from the debate with Sam Cedar. It's quite sad. It's interesting. They hold up their debate bros as these pillars of intellectualism, these heroes of academia, but then they'll also come to bat for them when they straight up flee. And I've seen some thumbnails from the videos that Crowder's been putting out about the debate. And about how, like, H3, like, was the one that took the L on that debate. And it's just further proof that we live in a post-truth world. You know, it doesn't matter what happened, because whatever Crowder says happened is what happened. Which, yeah, it's a little bit shameful. But yeah, has been good though, seeing the right get some of its own medicine, because for years there was no good lefty debaters. Yeah, and we have, so many now. We have so many now that are ready to step up. Not only ready to step up, but ready to throw down with these right-wingers that posture like, oh, we can't find any left-wingers to debate. I mean, you have people like Tim Pool that bring people on, but then Tim doesn't realize just how stupid he looks coming out of those debates. You know, he's debated Vosh, Hunter Avalon, and Avalone, and Destiny, and all three of them are quite capable. And, well, Tim isn't. So despite being scuttled by not giving any of them a laptop or a tablet or anything to look up stuff on the fly, still performed admirably. It made him look pretty dumb. I mean, that's why Crowder and Shapiro debate college kids. They know how to come out looking good. Yeah. Dear me. No, not too much else has happened since last night. Yeah. I don't know. What's the time? Should we see about getting into some content? That might be a good idea. Oops. Alrighty. Let's see. What have we got today? I'm sure it's nothing horrible, nothing dystopian, and nothing existential. Let's find out what's behind door number 1. Canon put AI cameras in its Chinese offices that only let smiling workers inside. The latest example of dystopian workplace surveillance. Lovely. Smile recognition in action. Tech company Canon has come up with a downright dystopian... I don't need you to add your personal editorial, alright? I can tell this is dystopian on my own. A downright dystopic way to tackle the problem of workplace morale. It's installed cameras with AI... Shut up. With AI-enabled smile recognition technology in the offices of its Chinese subsidiary, Canon Information Technology. The cameras only let smiling workers enter rooms or book meetings, ensuring that every employee is definitely 100% happy all the time. Because you know what they say... Oops. If you just smile, you feel better. Come on, try it with me. Just smile. Don't you feel better already? Don't you just feel great and ready to be a productive worker in one of these companies? I know I do. Let's continue. This depressing tale was highlighted in a report from the Financial Times on how Chinese companies are surveilling employees to an unsettling degree, implying that American and Australian corporations aren't surveilling their companies to the same degree, with the help of AI and algorithms. Firms are monitoring which programs employees use on their computers to gauge their productivity, using CCTV cameras to measure how long they take on their lunch break, and even tracking their movements outside the office using mobile apps. Now, does that mean that when they're on a shift and they step outside, or just when they're off work? Either way, it's pretty terrifying. As the King's College London academic Nick Strenick told the FT, workers are not being replaced by algorithms and artificial intelligence. Instead, the management... For now. Instead, the management is being sort of augmented by these technologies. Technologies are increasing the pace of people who work with machines instead of the other way around. Just what happened during the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. You slimy fuck. Canon Information Technology announced its smile recognition cameras last year as part of a suite of workplace management tools. But the technology doesn't seem to have gotten much attention. Indeed, the fact it passed under the radar is a good illustration of just how common surveillance tools like this are becoming, and not just in China. Told you. Although readers in the West sometimes have a tendency to dismiss this sort of surveillance described by the FT as a foreign phenomena, countries like the US and the UK are just as culpable. Amazon is perhaps the prime example of this dynamic. It's known for squeezing every ounce of effort and humanity from its warehouse workers at the expense of their health, and even ranking their productivity using algorithms before firing those at the bottom of the scale. Such modern-day Taylorism is not restricted to blue-collar jobs either. Many modern software suites, like Microsoft 365, come with built-in surveillance tools, and with more people working from home because of the pandemic, more companies are deploying these features for fear of losing control over their workers. Or, for a slightly more cynical read, they've always wanted to use these tools, and the pandemic provides a handy pretext. I don't think that's cynical, I think that's realistic. In other words, AI-enabled smile recognition cameras are in many ways the least dangerous types of surveillance technology. They have the benefit of being obvious. Other systems of control are much more subtle, and probably coming to an office near you sometime soon. Ah yes, you see, you'd best start believing that you're in a corporate... Fuck, I messed up the line, damn it. I ruined the moment, the moment's gone. You best start believing in corporate dystopias, you're in one. Damn it! Well, there you go. Lovely. Lovely. Well, isn't that just peachy? And let me tell you, I used to work for a company known as Serco, who you might not have heard about in the United States. They originate from the UK, however they have branches in Asia Pacific, and that's the branch I worked for. Now, Serco, among other things, runs a bunch of government contracts, including, this isn't the one I worked on, but they're also the company that manages Australia's offshore detention centres for asylum seekers. You see, in Australia, our treatment of asylum seekers is a little bit worse than America. Rather than keeping them in detention centres at the border, we built a bunch of detention centres offshore on islands, and we keep them there indefinitely. And Serco, the company responsible, was the company that I worked for. And let me tell you, just knowing that they manage the detention centres, oh, and some of Australia's prisons, that gives you an idea of the kind of business that they run. Let me tell you, I know all about corporate surveillance, especially when it comes to meeting KPIs. So yes. And if you think it gets any better for the rest of what we've got today, I'm sorry, it doesn't. So yeah, if you can, I don't know, get into a job where you don't have this kind of surveillance, but good luck. Because considering the shift that we're making towards the service industry, tracking you is going to become a whole lot easier. So yeah. I mean, how easy will it be, excuse me, for a company to set up an app that tracks your movements and tracks your productivity? And if you don't like having it on your phone, well, then you can't work here. Simple. Remind me again why unions are the ones that are corrupt? Because, this, insane invasion of privacy, that's not corruption on the business's half. But unions are the ones that are corrupt. Okay. An organization that's democratically run, that's driven by a people motive, not profit. But that's the one that's corrupt. Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting, if anything. But hey, you thought we were done with corporate dystopia? Ha! You were wrong. Oh boy. This is a doozy. OnlyFans to pivot away from pornography, seeking $1 billion valuation, looking to shed its not safe for work image. Fuck me. Because that worked so well for Tumblr. Following its boom during the COVID-19 pandemic, OnlyFans is now reportedly... What? Is now reportedly now seeking... A computer probably wrote this. OnlyFans is now reportedly now seeking a valuation of $1 billion. Since the start of 2020, OnlyFans has seen a 40% increase in creators, and its total number of users shot from 7.5 million to 85 million. Far out. Reporting $2 billion in sales with $400 million in revenue, the subscription service has caught the attention of venture capital firms and investors. But the not safe for work image tied to OnlyFans has made it difficult to acquire funding. Aside from making it easier to lock down advertisers, OnlyFans could look to move away from its adult content image and pivot towards mainstream media to reach its $1 billion goal. And that's it. Okay. Wow, very cool. So, a fantastic tool that has allowed... how many users? Did it say how many users? Total number of users. Wait. Oh, no, okay, that's users, not content creators. Or 40% increase in creators. Okay, so a tool that has seen a remarkable rise in the number of people who create content using the app, using the website, people who make their livelihood off this app. This app which gives a great degree of independence to sex workers. And unfortunately, as we live in a free market capitalist system, that makes it vulnerable to, what does it say, venture capital firms. Ah, yes. Because we know how well that goes when one of them take over. They're not looking to just pick up OnlyFans, run the business into the ground, kick the NSFW stuff off the site, and then sell it, making a profit, and leaving everybody else holding the bag. That's never happened with companies before. One of these capital firms has never done that before. Kayfabe aside, this is terrible. This OnlyFans is a fantastic source of, a fantastic platform for sex workers to be able to utilize the platform to engage with a wide audience. It's really good for people who don't have a whole lot of, all you need is a phone. That's it. All you need to create content is your phone and the app, and boom, you have an OnlyFans. You can be making money. It's great for sex workers, in particularly women, in particularly people from more backgrounds where it's harder to find work, like people in the trans community. It's great for them to work, and also they're working this, a disproportionate number of trans people make up the sex worker industry. But this is great because it allows them to just work for themselves. They don't have to worry about any of the danger that comes from working in a face-to-face sex worker environment, or working under a pimp or something. They can be their own boss. That's the great thing about OnlyFans. And despite there being no physical contact, people pay for it. People pay crazy amounts. It's people who earn high fives, maybe even six-figure salaries on OnlyFans. And it's because they utilize the platform well, they cultivate an audience, they know what their audience likes, they know how to tailor their content to their audience's taste. And yeah, this is, as much as I don't want to sing the praises of capitalism, this is a real triumph of ingenuity. I mean, I was about to say it would have happened under socialism, but then we wouldn't have money under socialism, so we wouldn't need OnlyFans. Anyway, we're not getting into the sex work under communism discussion. Anyway, I really hope that this doesn't go through. It probably will, though, which is really sad, because it's a great platform. Hopefully a group of entrepreneur-minded programmers see this coming and create a brand new OnlyFans style app to replace OnlyFans if OnlyFans does kick the NSFW content off its site. Hopefully someone sees the need in the market and to create a new app, because this is going to put so many people out of work. And look how well it worked out for Tumblr. Tumblr is like just non-existent now. Once they got rid of the not safe for work stuff on Tumblr, nobody went there anymore. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Good luck with that. With all that. Well, it's like Apple saying they're going to pivot from the tech industry. It's a little different. It sounds like Playboy getting rid of all their nudity. What's the point of paying for that? Did that actually happen? Did Playboy actually legitimately get rid of all their nudity? Because I heard about it, but I don't know. Is people really? I mean, like, who the fuck's gonna buy a stick magazine these days anyway? Shying away from what made you relevant is not a smart move. Look, like what happened to Tumblr once they moved NSFW content. Absolutely. Porn did make Tumblr, but it sure kept it alive. I don't know. It's funny how Tumblr's usage dropped after they got rid of the porn on Tumblr. Oh dear. That will kill all the S word. Paying for porn is bad enough, but paying for non-pornographic content? I mean, I guess like there is people who make like exercise videos and like post safe for work content, so you can still do like lingerie shots. But I mean, I don't know. These hoes might just have to get an actual job. Ah, well, I'm sorry, mate. Sex work is work. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright. Well. Yes. Well, capitalism gonna capitalism. Corporate dystopia at its finest. So, I wish all of the content creators on OnlyFans all of the best. I hope that OnlyFans does not go through with this sale, leading to the not safe for work content being removed. If it does, as I said, I really hope a group of clever-minded individuals come up with a new app to replace it. Because for a lot of people, it's their main source of income. Or at least a convenient way for them to supplement their existing income. Because, hey, wouldn't it be great if we were paid a livable wage? It's crazy, you know? Wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to supplement our income? Huh. Oh dear. Oh god, I'm sorry that I keep yawning, but I didn't get a great sleep last night. And it is, I mean, it's past 9 o'clock now. But it feels early, alright? So yeah. But tell me again. Tell me again why workplaces shouldn't be democratic? I don't know. Just seems like something like this wouldn't happen under a democratic workplace. If the content creators of OnlyFans were the ones who made the business decisions, then something tells me they wouldn't be so interested in selling the app, especially not removing its not safe for work content. Yeah. I don't know, it just doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem democratic. It's weird. We like democracy in our government, but not our business. It just seems odd that one person calls all the shots when it comes to a business. Weird. And speaking of one person calling all the shots when it comes to business, striking coal miners in Alabama energize support across the South. Hell yeah. United Mine Workers of America members are fighting for better wages and benefits and have filed unfair labor practice charges against Warrior Met Coal. What a wanky fucking name, Warrior Met Coal. Corporations treating their employees unfairly? Say it ain't so. Workers at Warrior Met Coal's mine in Brookwood, Alabama have been on strike since the start of April. And the only reason I've heard about this is because I saw a video on Twitter from TikTok from somebody who was there. I haven't seen anything about this in the news, and this story is from June, and this is from April. About 1,100 coal miners represented by the United Mine Workers of America in Brookwood, Alabama, have been on strike since the start of April against Warrior Met Coal amid new union contract negotiations. Union contract negotiations. I wonder why that might spark some protest. As the strike heads into its third month, workers are fighting for improvements to wages and benefits after they say several concessions were made by workers under the previous contract in 2016, when Warrior Met Coal took control of the mines in the wake of a bankruptcy filing by Walter Energy. The strike has energized support across the state and other parts of the South in an area that has traditionally been hostile to labor disputes. See, really quickly, I'll talk about that later, alright? Anyway. Last month, supporters held a concert to raise money for striking miners that included Mick Cooley of the Drive-By Truckers and comedian Drew Morgan. Hell yeah. Labor leaders from around the US, including the AFA-CWA president Sarah Nelson and the AFL-CIO secretary-treasurer Liz Schuler, have visited the striking miners to lend their support. Why don't we get a streamer down there? Come on, we must have some streamers over in Alabama. Come on, get someone up there and live stream it. You know, they can... all of the chat donations, they can go towards the strikers. Warrior Met still refuses to engage in meaningful negotiations with the UMWA at the bargaining table. The UMWA International President, Cecil E. Roberts, said in a recent press release, but they are clearly on the wrong side of history. Community support for the strikers is growing, and now their struggle is gaining nationwide attention. Is it? Strikers say they're suffering from the impacts of from the lost income, which makes it difficult to make ends meet and afford basic necessities like food and rent or home payments. They've also carried out acts of civil disobedience outside the company's main offices. James Truick has worked at Warrior Met Coal for 4 years at the No. 7 mine in Brookwood. He explained miners accept a $6 an hour pay cut and reduction in health insurance and retirement benefits during the bankruptcy process 5 years ago, while adhering to a strict attendance policy. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier with the OnlyFans story. See, it's the employees who miss out, but when a company goes under, the CEO just kicks off holding a great big bag of money. We were required to work 6, sometimes 7 days a week for 12 hours a day. We worked on a 4-strike system that meant missing 4 days in a year resulted in termination. The only thing that was accepted as an excuse was the death in the immediate family. We had to work sick with the flu and many other illnesses in fear of losing our jobs. Oh! But tell me why unions are the ones that are corrupt. He noted the workers were just seeking to be compensated what they were worth in wages and benefits comparable to other unionized miners. Warrior Met Coal brought in replacement workers as part of their continuity plan, the use of which Truick characterized as gut-wrenching. What do you expect, man? Fucking scabs, make sure they don't get through. We're fighting for our families and every other member of the organized labor community across the world. We can't allow corporate greed to rob us of our dignity and worth, added Truick. After bringing a company from bankruptcy to record-breaking production, we feel we deserve more. Absolutely, that's what unions exist for. Ahead of the strike, the UMWA filed several unfair labour practice charges against Warrior Met Coal, including allegations the company threatened bankruptcy and layoff. Shortly after the strike began, Warrior Met Coal obtained a court injunction limiting the number of striking workers on the picket lines on site at the mines, and local residents reported complaints of visible pollution in two weak creeks from runoff at the mines sites a few weeks into the strike. The company recently assured investors in all earnings calls that customer production volume commitments would be met through 2021, despite the strike's impact on production at mines in Alabama. And it goes on to talk about how horrible the conditions they face and about the money that Warrior Met Coal is making. So before we take a look at some of these other articles, I'd like to briefly talk about unions. So it's the union's job to make sure that you're paid as much as possible for as little as possible. And it is the corporation's job to extract as much as they can from you for as little as possible. Now, without the union, who do you have to speak for you? If you're just on your own, and it's the company's intent to extract as much of your labour as they can for as little as they can get away with, how on earth are you supposed to push back when you're being asked to work 6-7 days a week, 12 hours a day, 361 days a year, without collective bargaining? How the hell do you improve that situation? Because conditions like that are inhumane. That's not something that you should just suck up and continue on with. That's wrong. That's immoral. And people should not have to work in conditions like that. And this little bullshit about the injunction to limit the number of strikers, well, if we had a national labour movement, a national union movement, we could call up 100,000 people, not just from the mining industry, but all kinds of industries, to rock up alongside these 1,100 strikers. But you can thank the politicians of the last century for breaking the unions in our countries. Let's see. I have another article. Let me see if it's got anything new. Alabama coal workers strike for better wages, fair treatment. Stefan Bishaha of Gulf States Newsroom reports. Stefan Bishaha, yes, the coal miners are rallying at a state park about halfway between Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, want better pay. A state park? They're not protesting outside the mine? But United Mine Workers Treasurer Levi Allen says bigger checks aren't their only or even most important demand. Of course not. Levi, we want our pay and we want fair treatment. We want good insurance, but more than anything, we want to spend more breaths of God-given air with our family. Abso-friggin-lutely. Bishaha, miners say they're only guaranteed off Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Christmas Eve. New Year's Day? Hello? Of course, higher pay is pretty important too. Miner Courtney Finkley says high wages made coal mining the premier job in the state when he started 11 years ago. But today, it's mediocre now. The change happened in 2016. Sinking coal prices led the mine's former owner to declare bankruptcy. Warrior Met Coal took over and workers agreed to cut their wages and benefits to keep the mines open. What do they got, like... Employees say the company promised to restore some benefits after 5 years. Can never trust these people. Warrior is currently offering about a 10% increase in pay, but Finkley says that does not cover what they lost. It's a slap in the face. I mean, you don't want nothing. All we wanted was a piece of the pie, and I guess the pie was never given to us. Fuck, of course not. What else have we got? There was some more different information. Striking coal miners endure arrests. See little progress. We're just standing together. Ramey Foster wanted to illustrate why miners have been on strike for more than 2 months after Warrior met coal, so he pulled out 2 small booklets. One was thin, yellow, dog-eared, and stained, while the other was a pristine, thin white paperback perhaps 4 times the size of the other. This is the contract we've been working under, Foster said, holding up the smaller one, which he kept in the bib of his overalls while in the mines. And this is the old one we used to work under, he said, nodding to the much larger one. More than 1,100 workers at Warrior Met Coal hit the picket lines on April 1st, striking for better pay and benefits. Nearly 2 weeks into that strike, it appeared a settlement had been reached, but that was rejected after the union members emphatically voted down the tentative agreement, saying it was not sufficient, according to the United Mine Workers of America. I assume that's a 10% pay increase, which is disgusting. In May, nearly a dozen miners were arrested during a protest outside a mine in Tuscaloosa County. Warrior Met Coal has continued with operations during the strike. In 2020, feeling the economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic due to demand and pricing, Warrior Met Coal reported a net loss of around about $35 million. But its president in February said the company was cash flow positive in the 4th quarter and nearly breaking even for the year. The company produces coal used in steel production in Asia, Europe, and South America. Oh shit. It's the first strike for miners in the area since the early 80s. Far out. Yeah. Oh, we produced ungodly amounts of coal. My word, it's almost as if worker production has gone up in the last 60 years, but union membership has declined and wages have stagnated. Interesting. Oh, and what's this? Oh. What a surprise. It used to be that labour strikes were big national news. I wonder why the media doesn't cover them anymore. Every local newspaper, no matter what size, has a labour reporter the same way that all have finance reporters today. If, say, 1,000 coal miners, why stop at 1,000, had been on strike for months, and if there had been 12 of them arrested in a single day, and if there was video or film back in the day of automobiles crashing through picket lines, then that would be big national news. Nothing measures the decline of influence of America's labour unions more than the decline of attention to labour issues by the country's corporatised and increasingly centralised mainstream media. All of that is happening right now outside Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Oh, some leftist podcasters were there. Awesome. Now, while I would, of course, never advocate for any kind of political violence, you have to understand the power that having tens of thousands of unionized workers at a labor strike has. Because historically and contemporarily, it's the police who rock up to break up a labor strike. I don't want to get too far into this subject, but this is one of the reasons why lefties why lefties refer to the police as class traitors. Because it's the police who are the ones that, despite being employees of the state, the government, they come in to break up the strike at the behest of the corporation. Who do they work for again? Oh, wait. We pay taxes, and those taxes are then used to pay their wage. Something doesn't add up. But anyway, so when you have a sizable labour force, which is possible through a national union that can mobilise its unionised members so that members of other industries completely unrelated to mining can rock up to a labour protest So it's not just the employees of that business who are the ones where it falls upon them to strike. When you get rather than 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, 80, 100,000 people rock up to a labour protest, what are the police going to do then? And like I said, I would never advocate for violence. But in that scenario, it's not going to be easy for the police to arrest people and for scabs to get through. You're not going to have a scab driving their truck through a group of 10,000 people. And, all of those people there, well, I mean, given that they've all driven there in their cars, they might have some unrelated items on hand, such as, tire irons, the lever from a jack. Of course, completely unrelated to the presence of scabs. Just saying that they might have them on hand. So yeah, it's just interesting to think of, something to keep in mind. And heaven forbid anyone is arrested by the police. Surely the police would not deign to lower themselves to break a strike and arrest people for expressing their God-given right of the right to assemble. But heaven forbid that happens. That's where the National Union comes in. And the National Union's war chest, which can get you a good union lawyer and make sure that you don't face any jail time, or if you do, as little as possible. And if you do face time, make sure that your family is looked after and that you come back with a unionized job once you get out. Dropping kayfabe. All of this might sound like a pipe dream. All of this might sound like a fantasy. But this is how it used to be. Like, all of this sounds honestly amazing. But this is legitimately how it used to be. This is why corporations fear and hate unions so much. Because when you pay your union dues, and you have a union that's not broken like the unions we have now, when you have a union that has the power of industrial action and does not wait at the behest of the government for permission to strike it, for permission to exercise industrial action, they can act in the workers' best interest. The only way that we're going to get industrial action back to our unions is if we overhaul our political system. We get more progressive involved in politics. We get more people involved in grassroots movements. We get more people involved in direct action, in mutual aid. Get more people joining their union, and make it clear that this is what we want. The working class is the crisis of the working class. I'm not going to say they're experiencing. It's already been experiencing, and it's heightening from the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's only getting worse. We see workers like in Alabama, workers using OnlyFans, and soon for the further expansion of corporate surveillance in our businesses. And it's only weakening the position of employees. The situation's only getting worse for the working class, and better for the boss. If there was ever time for a new labour movement, it's now. It's not going to happen overnight. And it's not going to be easy. But there needs to be more collaboration. So, do what you can. join your local union. If you have the time and the availability, join a mutual aid group, join the DSA, and vote in politicians who are more union focused, who want to overhaul to industrial action, to give it back to unions. Because right now, what's the point of a union when they can't jump without the government say so? So right now, unless the government says they can go on strike, they can't. So what's the fucking point of a union? It's just a social club at that point. So yeah. That was about all I had. What's the time? Oh, it's not too late. So yeah, unless anyone has any hot takes that they want to throw out, if you're feeling so inclined, I would love to buy a pizza. Yeah. Fuck me. Used to be in this country and America that we hated the rich. Now we fucking love them. We venerate the bosses. You look at... I'm sure all of you have seen in your history textbooks the caricatures that are drawn of, you know, factory bosses. These enormously fat pigs wearing, you know, pinstripe suits and top hats and monocles, sitting on a giant bag of money. Now we fucking love them. We put them on national TV. Alright, well, I'm going out for lunch today, so I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Until then, I think I might maybe play some video. So, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. My name is Louis Vuitton. If you'd like the stream, it would mean a whole lot if you would follow me on Twitch. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to me there. I do prepared content over on my YouTube channel. Jump over to Twitter and follow me over there as well. Join the Discord, the link down below. And hey, if you have a couple of extra bucks lying around, it would mean a lot if you would contribute to the pizza fund. I am Louis Vuitton. Thank you all for watching. I love you all, and please stay safe.